Jay, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. You came in at a very good time. We are just about to start yelling at each other
It's
about
not even yell at each other.
about the Rams Saints game. Let me just finish with the breakdown. I wrote something very nice, Tony. Don't interrupt me.
All right, whatever. Be as nice as you want. It means nothing to me.
The obvious defensive pass interference that would have given the Saints a first down and in essence would have ended the game. All of New Orleans is pissed off, and the rest of us are asking them to please wear their... This joke, I got to restart because...
Go ahead.
Usually when I write notes and I deviate from them, but I didn't remember that this one was a joke, so I'm going to restart.
I'd like to hear the joke. There's
All
plenty
right.
to be made here.
New Orleans and all of New Orleans is up in arms, and the rest of us are asking them to please wear deodorant or at least put your arms down. Fucking stinks.
I mean, New Orleans is, its weather is not permitting to keep your hands up all the time.
No, and as Daniel Tosh in his joke said, about Hurricane Katrina, which obviously we do not like to make jokes about death.
No.
But Daniel Tosh said, if any city needed a bath, it's New Orleans.
Probably true.
Anyways, did the Saints get screwed? Was it an accident? Some people seem to believe that it was a deliberate choice to not call that pass interference. For whatever reason, they think that the refs are out to get the Saints. But I did see some things on Twitter, and I know Twitter's not the most credible source. But according to some things on Twitter, 3 of the referees in that game lived either in or near Los Angeles.
Okay.
And one was not only just a referee. One of them was a former Rams player.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was he a former Rams player, he also played for the Atlanta Falcons. So, was it just a horribly missed call, or do you believe it was some kind of conspiracy, to send a team that doesn't have any fans in the state of California to the Super Bowl?
I mean, I'm sure they got a large following the last 2 years. I mean, the argument could be made that it was set up to be this way because now you have 2 massive markets. You have the Boston market and you have you have Los Angeles market.
The Boston market.
I mean, yeah, not the delicious food, the shitty city that you can't drive around.
Oh, it's so bad.
But you have
Boston market food is delicious. The
no.
city of Boston is so bad.
But I mean,
KFC gravy's better though.
We're not going to discourage any potential sponsors.
Either or would be great.
I like both. That being said, I don't like either of these games turning out this way. And I don't know. I guess you could. Conspiracy theorists are going to think this for a while, and I mean, it's not a new conspiracy theory that the NFL tries to rig games in their favor. At least that's the way it goes.
The only conspiracy theory that I could see for why they would want the Los Angeles Rams is they're hoping that by the Rams getting into the Super Bowl, they'll create some bandwagon fans or some people gain a little bit of interest in this massive new stadium that they're going to have and try and get people to enjoy football in Los Angeles. But that's crazy elaborate for,
Definitely.
rigging an NFC Championship game, especially when, think about it, what matchup would you rather see? Would you rather see Mahomes versus Breeze? Would you rather see Goff versus Brady? Or would you rather see Hall of Famer Breeze Brady?
Breeze Brady.
That's the obvious choice for the casual fan. Because the casual fan are fans of the Patriots because they're bandwagoners. And you're taking 2 of the greatest to ever lace up cleats and putting them in a Super Bowl.
Unless you like Curtis Martin and Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to debunk that conspiracy theory because that's a load of shit. Regardless, the game went into overtime where the Saints got the ball first and inevitably scored, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wrong. Drew Brees throws an interception at the most inopportune time. This sets up the game-winning Super Bowl clinching field goal by Greg the Leg Zuerlein. 26-23, Rams win. Now, the NFL, according to Sean Payton, he called the referee the head of officials, and they admitted to him over the phone that they had blown that and that they had apologized to him. Well, first of all, apologies don't mean anything. Second of all, how desperate, like, I'm going to go call the referees. Just grow up. You lost.
I find it hilarious now that I'm looking into this. The Rams fans started a petition to have that referee removed from the game because they were 0-8 in games that he's officiated.
Interesting.
Days beforehand.
Interesting. Anyways, so the NFL admitted that it was a bad non-call in the favor of the Rams. And now a lot of people are speculating that because of this game, you will start seeing some rule changes. One of them being the use of reviewing pass interference calls. But I find it hard to believe that that's going to happen because this was a non-call. So you'd be like, yeah, just look at something. Just figure something out. You know what I mean? Like, if they threw the flag and like that wasn't pass interference, incidental contact, if you look, you know, their elbows hit, they're both looking for the ball, that's not pass interference. If in this situation you're allowed to quote unquote review the pass interference, you're basically sending the referees on a witch hunt for anything they can find. So,
Yeah.
like, would you have to like specifically state, like, I want you to review pass interference by number 26 on number 11?
Yeah, I mean, if it's so grossly obvious, then that's the one you look at.
But is that only going to be for pass interference non-calls? You know, what if, like, Sean McVay is like, you know what? That might have been pass interference, but it should be negated because number 71 was holding our D end. Like, at what point does it stop?
It's hard to draw the line there, and that's really difficult. But, I mean...
There's a penalty on every play.
But with 2 minutes to go in a game, something like that should be able to be reviewed, like I said, from an outside source. Someone that sees that it was blatantly obvious and was like, wait a minute, you missed that.
Like how in college, they can stop and review for targeting?
Yeah, something like that. Because, again... we get no explanation. It's just next play.
So that let me float this idea out to you. What if after every game, the head referee, whatever, has to go to the podium and answer questions from the media?
Oh, that'd never happen.
Explain why you didn't call pass interference.
I mean, referees are notorious.
I don't think that's going to add anything.
Yeah,
that would just generate a whole bunch of uproar for no reason.
Well, the thinking would be to like kind of, I don't want to say embarrass them, but to be like, you're going to have to answer to people on why you did what you did, so make sure you're calling it right so you have a real explanation. Well, the reason we didn't say that was pass interference is because when we were looking, yada yada yada, he did have his head turned around, elbows hit, whatever. So we felt that was natural course of the game, incidental contact, no call. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, obviously that's not what applies here. He got absolutely rocked. Tommy Lee Lewis did. First of all, his name is Tommy Lee.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure that Roby Coleman knew at that point that it was pass interference.
Oh, he had said, yeah, I whacked his ass. Yeah, he knew. Yes. But,
I mean, give up the penalty to not allow the touchdown. I see the thought process from Roby Coleman, but like, he must have been thinking to himself, "Oh my god, I can't believe I got away with that."
well, the important thing is if he turns his head, he's got a pick six.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. There's no move to look back behind him.
No, not at all.
So, at what point did you think that was just an incomplete? It didn't hit the wide receiver's fucking hands.
If that's the thing that gets me with the way defense is played these days. Like, I understand you want to lay a fucking hurt on the guy that is across from you, but first of all, that's how careers end. That's wrong. Second of all, if you turn your head instead of looking to, smack the shit out of someone, you just sealed the NFC Championship game with an interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
I mean, there has to be another way. You can't have this constantly happening in your championship games, and just think that that's okay. Like, that puts a stain on this entire season.
Does it?
It does.
Because
it does. It is a call that you worked your ass off to get to that position just for a ref to fuck up your day.
Well, I mean,
They fucked up your entire season. Everything you worked for came down to some asshole in a striped hat who looks like he looks at Foot Locker.
So, here's where I'm going to turn on my asshole mode. The Saints ran 60.
You just have a switch?
Yeah, the Saints ran 62 plays. I have a hard time thinking that, the only reason they lost is that one of 62. Was it crucial? Yes. Was it at a bad time? Yes. Was that the reason they lost? No. The plays, why are you not running the ball in that situation? Why are you throwing it?
Because everyone on their couch is expecting a fucking run. You're trying to win a game. You're trying to cement a nail in a coffin here.
3 straight passes?
You have arguably one of the greatest passers of all fucking time.
And you have 2 of the best running backs in the NFL.
And the running backs, except for short bursts, weren't pushing that off. And you're not running against that defensive line. That's not where the weakness on this team is. It's clearly with Roby Coleman, who doesn't know where the fucking ball is.
No, he knows where the ball. He just doesn't care.
Either or.
Regardless, 61 other plays. I'm sure there are spots elsewhere that you can look and say, if you had changed this, then you would have been better
Right,
off.
but that is on the player. That's on the player. That they didn't do that if. This isn't their if. This is if a man did his job, result could have been different.
Regardless.
It's not regardless. It can't be regardless. This is another outside force.
You were up by 13 points. You had double-digit lead. Don't let the Rams get back into the game.
Okay, so you're saying don't allow one of the most prolific offenses this year score the fucking ball against a Saints defense that, let's be honest, the Saints have been known for their defense.
The last couple of years, their defense has been just fine. You were up essentially 2 touchdowns. All right.
And tell this argument to the fucking Falcons if you want to have it.
Oh, the Falcons. What do you mean? What do you mean? Tell this to the Falcons. What is it? No, explain. What do you mean by that?
Look at the lead they had in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they took their foot off the gas. They fucked up.
Right, but this team isn't trying to take their foot off the gas. You're complaining that they're not playing slow enough, but then you're saying that they should have kept the foot on the gas.
No.
Pick one.
No, they're different situations.
In what way? Because you're saying to play conservatively when the game's tied less than a minute to go.
I'm saying what got you that 13-point lead, and in the case of the Falcons, that 25-point lead, just keep fucking doing it.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done with teams that are going to make adjustments so that they can actually score the fucking football. That's how good teams operate. And to be in a situation where it's 2020 is a good situation to be in because you have a chance to win the game. A chance was taken away from you by somebody else not doing their job that you could not affect. Had the guy been offsides, had he run out of bounds, had there been a whole